I found it very, very hard to get what I felt was fair market for what I was doing. So I went and I researched what other people in my position, men and women, were actually earning, and it came back that I was, my salary was about, a quarter of what it should have been. And their excuse is, well, you're a shareholder. I'm like, well, actually, I bought my shares, I paid for my shares, and really remuneration for the job that you're doing. You shouldn't be penalized because you actually bought shares. And then I found out that the men who actually worked in the business were earning more than me and were compensated more than me. And I really think it just comes down to there's just a historic bias that they think that the man's work is more valuable than what the woman is doing in the business. I noticed that the customer behavior was changing. And at that time, you saw a lot of industries being eaten by the digital world. So I wanted to build a company that was what I consider like the next generation luxury brands, which is digitally born. When I looked at how the business had operated for the last 6 decades, we deliver clothes and shoes and bags in the wrong season. And the customers didn't really want that anymore. They didn't really care about a big collection or having the dress from that collection. They just want incredible things, and they want to buy something today and they want to wear it tomorrow, and they want it to be season appropriate, and they don't care if it's the collection. And even I watch my daughter, she doesn't even care about magazines anymore. She discovers everything on Instagram. The marketing is very, very different today. Traditionally in fashion, it used to be about status, right? So pride of ownership, of status. It's not about that anymore. What customers are looking for today is they want shared values. So we really believe that brand neutrality is over. In the luxury industry, we used to think that, don't say anything because you don't know what your customer believes. You don't want to upset your customer. And it's not about that anymore. It's about really taking a stand in what you believe in. Our customer is healthy and wealthy, right? And those are the two things she cares about, and those are the things we care about too. Obviously, this is a brand born on feminism, also because of my experience in the business. And when we, thought about what we want to do, is that you can't be all things to all people. So we decided the thing that really affected me in my career was equal pay. So that's the thing we wanted to drill down on. Now, today, instead of buying a page, in a magazine, what we did, we paid and we went and held a women's conference in Washington, D.C. on equal pay. What we want to do is we want to advise them before they go out to get a job of, the things they should be looking out for, how to approach it, how to get equal pay and not set them, and go out into the market and get what they're worth. We've struggled with how to communicate on price. There's a perception that quality is more expensive. And obviously with a direct-to-consumer business, that's not the case. So I pay the same factory price as Jimmy Choo, Manolo, Louboutin, Jean Vito Rossi, or Valentino, Chanel, all my luxury competitors. I pay the same factory price, but because I don't have to put a wholesale margin in, my retail price is almost half because they take it from factory price, they mark it up, multiply it 6 times, because they have to pay Neiman's rent. So we can actually produce a much higher quality shoe at a much better retail price. I do think that retail is still really important. It's just, going to buy a pair of shoes in a store is actually a very antiquated, painful process to go to. So what normally happens is, you put half a pair out on a shelf in the smallest size, then you go in and you say, oh, do you have that in my size? And then someone disappears behind a curtain, they come back with a stack of boxes, and then there's boxes and tissue all over the floor, and you try them on, and suddenly you're like, oh, do you have half a size up? And that person disappears again. And you're like, and then there's someone else trying to get their attention. So we thought, what do women really love? Women, there's some kind of neuro aesthetic that is really appealing. about seeing lots of shoes lined up. So we thought, why not let's build a shoe closet so you can walk up to your size and everything will be displayed in pairs, not half pairs. And so you can literally pick the pair off the shelf, try it on, buy it, and leave. And if you need to go up or down half a size, you're within arm's reach. So you can just pick it off the shelf and try it, but obviously doing it in a very elevated luxury way.